Namo buddhaya. Welcome everyone to another video. So today, let's talk about anxiety and how a Buddhist practice can help you to deal with it. Okay, first of all, let's take a look at what anxiety is. Anxiety is a common human emotion that we feel when our lives are in danger or when our lives are in threatening situations. We feel that fear and worry. So that is a common, normal human nature. But for some people, they feel this fear and worry when there is no such danger in the reality, when there is no such threatening situation in the real world. But they still start to worry about it, or they still start to fear about it. So that is where we can do something about it. Most of the time, people, they hide their anxietic emotions. These anxious emotions, they try to hide them. They laugh, they smile, they seem to be good looking, but inside their head, there are many things going on. It's like the monkeys jumping here and there. They are distracted and they have that constant fear and worry inside them. Right? It's very heavy. So what can we do to ease up these things, and how we can deal with these things? Well, there are certain practices that we can practice according to the Buddhist way to help you to deal with these anxiety thoughts. First of all, the first step is to acknowledge the anxiety. Because our great teacher Supreme Buddha told that every one of us, every living being, is subjected to suffering. Buddha said, where there is birth, there is suffering. So no matter how rich we are, no matter how talented you are, no matter what social state that you are living, fear, worry, suffering is the common ground for all of us. So first of all, we have to acknowledge that my mind has these anxious thoughts. Because most of the time, when people become anxious, when they have these panic attacks and when they have these anxiety thoughts, what they do is they try to hate that emotion. They try to fight with that emotion. The more you fight with that emotion, the more you become angry about that emotion, the more you consider about that emotion as a monster, it will take control over your life. So what you have to do? First of all, you have to think, this is a common human response, or this is a common human nature, so I must acknowledge it. That is the first step, right? Because you can remember the Buddha's word, all beings are subjected to suffering without any exception. The first step. Then the second step. This is one of the most wonderful practices in Buddhism. That is the mindfulness. And you know that Buddhism has a great background of mindfulness. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us there are 4 grounds of mindfulness. This is taught in Satipatthana Sutta. So the first one is being mindful about your body. The second one is being mindful about your feelings. The third one is being mindful about your mind. And the fourth one is being mindful about the mental states. So we can do any kind of mindfulness practices in here, but there's an important practice that Buddha mentioned, and that is being mindful about your mind. That is called Chittanupassana. Simply, the Buddha teaches us you have to observe your thoughts, right? So when you observe your thoughts and when you become mindful about, when you become aware of your thoughts, what happens to you? It creates this little space between you and your thoughts. It separates you from your thoughts. Because most of the time, when we feel fear, when we worry about the things, and most of the times when we are living our life, we think that the thoughts are ourself. That means when you feel angry, you think, I am the anger. I am fear. I am the worry. I am the anxiety. But you're not the anxiety. And it reveals you that your thoughts are anxiety. And your thoughts are in fear. It creates this little space between you and your thoughts. It's like let me give an example. It's like the sky, right? Sky is there, and consider the sky as you, the blue color one. And these clouds come into the sky. They are like your thoughts, right? So what is the nature of a cloud? It comes and it goes. Sometimes gloomy, sometimes shiny, sometimes scattered. It takes different shapes and different moods. But still, there is sky. It is not changed. So it gives you this feeling, when you do this chittanupassana, being mindful about your mind, your thoughts, what happens to you is you're watching your thoughts without judging, without comparing yourself with that, and without being worrying. You just watch your thoughts. When you separate your mind, yourself from your thoughts become an outside object. It's like you're taking something to your hand and you're just observing it. Then what happens to you? Then you can take your time to think, oh, what is this thought? Then you can reveal and you can identify, my mind is now in anxiety mode. My thoughts are anxiety. My thoughts are anxious. So when you identify your thoughts, that gives you that understanding that I am not anxious. It's only my thoughts are anxious. And then you have to use your wisdom to think, what is the nature of this thought? What is the nature of this mental emotion? This is impermanent. This comes and this goes away. So it gives you this feeling of impermanent, right? So that is what you have to think. And also, you can analyze this thought. When you become anxious, if you are constantly becoming mindful about, now remember, when I say these things, it may seem like, oh, it is easy for you to say like that, but when we become anxious, it is very hard to do that. Yes, it's very hard to do that. Remember, every good thing that brings the happiness to your life is a little bit challenging. You have to take time. You have to practice it, right? You have to go through some tough situations when you're doing it. But if you're constantly doing it, if you are constantly practicing it, it gives you the results. So what do you have to do? Just analyze your thought. My thought is in anxious mode. So what gave me this anxiety? Always remember, your anxiety is always triggered by an emotion, a delusional emotion. So you can analyze the thought. What made me anxious? What made me fear? Then you can go deep into it, and then you can find, when you're not judging it, you can find, this is not something to be fear of. This is not something to be worried about. Then you can come back and think, okay, this is just an emotion. This is just a thought. So let go. I will let go of it. That is what gives you this becoming mindfulness. And it gives you, and it brings you to this present moment. Right? When you're analyzing your mind and when you're constantly becoming aware of your thoughts, you come to this present moment. which is very peaceful, right? When you're thinking about the future, your mind is in anxious mode, right? Most of the time when the anxiety kicks in, what happens to you? Your mind jumps to the future. What will happen in the next time? What will happen in the future? What will happen to me? That's what you're thinking. That means your mind is in the future, right? But when you become mindful, your mind comes to this present moment, which is peaceful, which is cool and tranquilizing. You can be here right now, right here, and become more peaceful. That will help you immensely. So practice mindfulness little by little. This is a simple trick that you can do. Just ask from yourself, what am I thinking now? When the fear kicks in, when the fear or the worry comes in, when you're becoming anxious, just remember to yourself to ask from your mind, what am I thinking now? What are my thoughts? Then you can identify your thoughts, right? So that is the mindfulness practice. And then the last part, show some compassion to yourself. Don't expect 100% perfection from yourself. Remember, perfection is not the success, right? People have this delusional idea to be perfect always. Don't think about it. No one can be perfect like that. Just do your best, right? That is what you can do. So I hope you got some light on this topic. So I wish you all, may all of you have a peaceful life, a healthy life, and may all of you be able to live happy forever. Namo buddhaya. This is what happens to you when you study with an angry mind. Now consider your mind as this jug of water. Now when you're angry, what happens to you is your mind starts boiling up. Now when your mind is boiling up, it is unclear, like this boiling jug of water. Now the Buddha said, you will not be able to memorize anything when you study with an unclear, turbulent, and angry mind. So what we can do is, we can simply switch it off and let this water cool down. Same goes with our mind. What we can do is, simply we can cut off the things that made us angry. We can spread our loving kindness, we can practice the patience, we can practice the compassion towards ourselves and to the others. Then your mind will be cooled down. And also, there's another thing that we can do is, we can simply take this water out of the place where we became angry. We can just go for a walk, we can be with nature, and also most importantly, we can do a little bit of mindful meditation. So when you do these things, your mind stays away from the things that made you angry. So if you're a student, try to maintain a kind and a compassionate mind whenever you are studying. Do some meditation, be mindful. Always remember, your anger is not going to help you in anything in your life. Namo buddhaya. Namo buddhaya. Welcome to yet another episode in Buddhist meditation series. In today's video, we are going to discuss about the Karuna meditation, the meditation on compassion. Coming right up. There are 4 types of Brahma Vihara meditations that we can practice in our life. They are Metta or Metta meditation, Karuna meditation or the compassionate meditation, Mudita meditation, the appreciative joyfulness meditation, and Upekkha meditation, meditation on the equanimity. So today we are going to discuss about the Karuna meditation, the meditation on cultivating the compassionate thoughts. First of all, let's talk about what is compassion. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, described what is compassion. Buddha said, Paradukkhe hadayang kampeti iti karuna. If you feel the suffering, if you feel that empathy on others' sufferings, then that means you have the thoughts of karuna, the thoughts of compassion. So, the ability of feeling one's suffering is called the karuna. If you have these thoughts of karuna, you can understand about the situations of people. Normally, when we are living in this society, we tend to judge people. We just see people's outer appearance, how they talk, how they behave, and we tend to judge them. Sometimes we come into wrong conclusions about people. But if you have karuna, you will get the power of understanding about them. And also, you can feel the pain of others' suffering. Then, you will never tend to hurt others because you know how it feels like to be hurt. So we need to practice this compassion in our life for all the people. First of all, we need to spread the compassion towards ourselves. That is where we're starting from. All the meditations, all the Brahma Vihara meditations are starting from ourselves. We start to spread love and loving kindness, or the metta meditation. When we are doing the metta meditation, we start to spread the love and kindness to ourselves first, then to the others. Same goes with the Karuna meditation. When we start to spread the Karuna or the compassion, we start from ourselves. So what we need to think in this meditation? There are certain phrases of compassionate words that you can think in this meditation. Right? First of all, we start from ourselves. We say, may I be free from physical suffering. Right? You spread that compassion to yourself. Then you say, may I be free from mental suffering. That means you don't like that yourself to suffer. Right? So as you don't like that other people to suffer, you need to direct it to yourself, right? You wish to yourself, you kindly and compassionately, you wish to yourself, may I be free from mental suffering, may I be free from physical suffering, may I be developed with physical well-being, may I be developed with mental well-being. And you wish to yourself, may I be free from all the sufferings. These are compassionate thoughts, right? Now in this meditation also, when you repeat these phrases in your mind, you should not just repeat it. You should mean it and you should feel it, right? With your honest mind, you need to wish to yourself like that. May I be free from all the sufferings. Then you wish to yourself, may I live in peace. May I live in peace. May I live in peace. So that is the first part, and that is the first step, to spread the compassionate thoughts to yourself. Then after that, once you get fulfilled with your own compassion, right? Once you get filled with your own compassion, then you need to radiate that compassion towards the beings who are outer and around you. So this Karuna meditation also can be done in both ways of apamana ceto vimukti, or the limitless liberation of the mind, and mahagata ceto vimukti, expansive liberation of the mind. So we have described these two methods in another separate video. You need to check out that if you want to know more about these things. So you can do this in both ways, in either Appamana Ceto Vimukti and Mahagata Ceto Vimukti, or if you have time, you can do the both of methods in one meditation session. So we need to practice and we need to generate more and more compassionate thoughts in our mind. The more we develop the compassionate thoughts in our mind, the more we will do the compassionate things from our body, the more we will speak the compassionate words from our mouth. So that is the main aim of doing the Karuna meditation. So what do we need to think in this meditation? As a summary, may I be free from physical suffering. May I be free from mental suffering. May I be developed with mental well-being. May I be developed with physical well-being. May I be free from all the sufferings, and may I live happily. So these are the phrases that you need to think, and you can adopt these phrases when you spread loving kindness and when you spread the compassion towards other living beings also. For an example, if you spread the compassionate thoughts to the beings around you or to the beings in your room, then you need to think, may all the beings in this room be free from physical suffering, be free from mental suffering. Like that you have to think. So these are the ways, and this is how we do the compassion meditation or the Karuna meditation. So remember, when you master this meditation, when you master the thoughts of Karuna or the compassion, your bodily actions will be more peaceful and more kind and compassionate, and your words and the way you behave will be changed. So your whole life can change by these kind of meditations. So practice Karuna meditation and enjoy a peaceful life. Namo buddhaya. First of all, I must say the phrase Namo buddhaya consists of two words, Namo and buddhaya. So Namo means, let's take the first word. What is the meaning of Namo? Namo means may my homage to, or may my worship to. And the meaning of buddhaya means to the Buddha. So in altogether we say, may my homage to the Supreme Buddha. May my worship to the Supreme Buddha. So that gives the meaning of the word Namo buddhaya. So why do we say this word oftenly? Now, as Buddhists, we have to respect to our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. He was the greatest person who taught us the reality of this life. So, as being grateful and as an honor to the Supreme Buddha, we use this word in most of the times in our life. When we are starting something good and at the end of something good, we say this, we remember this, right? So that is why we say the word Namo buddhaya oftenly, right? So when we say the word Namo buddhaya and when we mean it, it is not only we are respecting to the Buddha, we are respecting to his enlightenment, his realization, his teachings, right? So as being grateful and as an honor to the great teacher Supreme Buddha, we use this word in many times in our life. So if you are a Buddhist, you have to know the meaning of this word, Namo buddhaya, and also you have to use it oftenly, right? When you meet one of your friends, maybe a Buddhist friends, you can keep your palms together and say Namo buddhaya. Or when you start something good in your life, you can keep your palms together and say Namo buddhaya and start it. In the beginning of the day, when you wake up, you keep your palms together, close your eyes, take a deep breath and say Namo buddhaya, right? Remember your great teacher, Supreme Buddha. And it will give you a great pleasure and it will tranquilize your mind. Right? So that is why we use the Namo Buddhaya word in many times in our life as Buddhists. So this is the way that we remember and we respect our great teacher, Supreme Buddha. So that is the meaning of the word Namo Buddhaya. So I hope you got some information about the word Namo Buddhaya. So I wish you all, may all of you be well and happy. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. When you learn the Buddha's teachings, you may come across a certain word called merit. What is the meaning of this word? Now let's take a look at this Dhammapada verse. It says, Punyanche puriso kaira. Buddha says, if a man does a good deed, kaira teta punapuna. He must do it again and again, repeatedly. Tammi chandang kairata. He must delight in doing that. What is the reason for this? Is sukho punyasa uchayo. Because merit is a synonym for happiness. So that means merit is equal to happiness. So if we need to be happy in our life, we need to do merits. So what are the merits? The good things, the wholesome deeds, the virtuous deeds that we do from our body, from our mind, and from our speech. Okay, so that is the meaning of merit. So what are the things that we can do as merits? There are lots of things, that good things and wholesome deeds that you can do in this world. There are thousands of it. But especially, Buddha says us, you must practice 3 streams of merit to your life, in your life. So what are these 3 streams of merit? They goes like this. The first stream of merit is called dana. Dana means giving or being generous. When you share your belongings with others, it is dana. It gives the merit, or it gives the good karma to your life. We collect good karma to our life. When we collect good karma to our life, according to the law of karma, if you do good, you will get the happiness in return. So when we give, and when we give dana, we get happiness as the result. Okay? That is the first type of merit, dana, being generous. The second one is sila. That means living a virtuous life, living a pure life without doing anything evil from your body, from your speech. That is called sila. It gives the merits to your life. You can collect good karma through that. And number 3, it is called bhavana, meditating. When you meditate, it is a stream of merit. It is a stream of happiness. So that is why Buddha told us, you need to practice these 3 practices in your life. When you practice this, you get the happiness in return, right? When you collect good karma, you will get the happy results of that. And also, when you do these things, when you become generous, when you practice a virtuous life, when you do meditations, you can be happy about yourself. That is the most important thing, right? Most of the time, we become unhappy about ourselves. We become tired of ourselves. Now that is an obstacle for practicing the Buddha's path. So that is why Buddha says, do good things, do wholesome deeds, do virtuous deeds, collect merits to your life, and it will make you happy. You can be happy by thinking about yourself. So that is why we need to collect merits to our life. Therefore, whenever you are possible, go out and do some merits. Help someone. Give something to a poor person. Help poor people. Become generous, right? Live a good life without hurting anyone, without doing any evil deed. Live a virtuous life. Then you will be happy. And also, whenever you can, do the meditations. It will make your mind peaceful and happy. So when you practice this merit, you will collect good karma. So whenever you are possible, you must be clever to collect a merit to your life at least once a day. Okay, so collect merit to your life, because merit is a synonym for happiness. Namo buddhaya.